Hare Krishna. We see how Krishna is so attractive. He's such a, it's very personal, spiritual life, and there is attraction between all the living entities and Krishna. And Krishna was not disturbed here, it says, on the material platform. He did not feel any disturbance. But in the spiritual world, there is so much of loving interactions between Krishna and all the gopis and all the other women who have different, even the conjugal relationship between Krishna. So, actually, this is on the very pure and spiritual platform where it is completely selfless, and that is nothing. There's no comparison between that and the lusty relationships we have in the material world. So actually there is a very nice pastime in which once the gopis were cooking, they had to cross the Yamuna river to go and give prasadam which they had cooked. They had to give it to Durvasa Muni, who was on the other bank. And the Yamuna was very, very full. And they didn't know how to cross the Yamuna. And at that time, Durvasa Muni told them that you just say that, Krishna, the perfect brahmachari, Krishna is a perfect brahmachari, and by his strength, please allow us to move, to cross the river, and then Yamuna will give way. And they started giggling, because how could Krishna be a perfect brahmachari when he was with them all the time? But when they mentioned Krishna as a perfect brahmachari, and immediately Yamuna gave them way, and they could cross over and go and give the prasadam to Durvasa Muni. So, and so we can see that it is not, Krishna, even though he's famous as one who's having a lot of relationships with his girlfriends and so on, but that is on the love is completely on the spiritual platform, and that's why from the material platform he is a complete brahmachari, because he's not at all disturbed by this material kind of disturbance when one sees the opposite gender. So, and we see that this comes actually due to sense control. Materially, when one becomes self-controlled, then only one can understand spiritual love. And there is all this full scale of, relationships between Krishna and all the women. And also Prabhupada says in one of the previous purports about how there is attraction between men and women in the spiritual world. But most of they are not really inclined to sex, because they have so much of a superior taste in serving Krishna together. But sometimes, even if it happens, it is not disturbing. So, on the other hand, we find in the material world what this kind of attraction without restriction, what is the result of this? Especially in today's world, we see that people feel that it's your freedom to do whatever you feel like, how much ever you want, whatever way you want to do it. And so it has become very, very perverted. People are, unnatural desires are coming up. And the worst thing is, and people are becoming more and more addicted to unnatural methods and pornography and so on. And it is very shocking that when the government of India has banned pornography from the website, so many people are against it. So you can imagine how much we are becoming degraded, and there is not even so much love in all these activities. It is just becoming very degraded into lust. And we must be able to distinguish it as devotees and be very careful, understand what these things are. And when we are self-controlled, and that's when we can actually have a minimum of sense gratification and then also move towards liberation. Everything must be, and when a person develops side by side spiritual life of and kirtan and dancing and Krishna prema, then one automatically becomes more and more uh, divine in his consciousness, and automatically all these lower grades of enjoyment or degradation into perverted forms of enjoyment will not take place. And we should be very careful not to get influenced by such exposure to such things, because one must know what is what, and how the spiritual world is full of pleasure and joy and relationships. Everything is there in the pure form, where it never degrades, and one is filled with complete love. So that's why one has to be attracted by Krishna, and then we'll enjoy so much of variety and happiness in loving relationships. Hare Krishna.